Okay then, so welcome everybody. Thank you for coming along to our second webinar in our Digital Boost series. I'd like to thank everybody for coming along, and I'd like to thank our special guest James today for coming and sharing his knowledge. Before I hand the floor over to James, I'd just like to sort of highlight some of the opportunities we have for our local businesses within UDC. So this is our team. There's myself, Sarah and Rachel, and we're on hand to provide support for any business advice. We also can signpost for any financial support and provide you any information in regards to any grants that are available. As well as this webinar, we have some additional ones coming up. So on Thursday the 9th, we have Will You Pass the LinkedIn MOT? On Friday the 10th, we have How to Prepare Your Business Against Cybercrime. And on Wednesday the 15th, we also have cool digital tools to help promote your business. We still do have some availability on these webinars, so if you're interested, then please pop onto our website and sign up. I probably should mention as well that I didn't at the start, this webinar is also being recorded and it will be uploaded onto our website for any future reference. As well as the webinars, we're also offering a Digital Boost for Business grant. So this is a grant between £250 up to a maximum of £2,500. It is match funded and it's for businesses who are wanting to develop or improve their digital assets. Some of the items that are included within this grant are a new business website or an upgrade to an existing website, online booking systems, e-commerce platform, creation of mobile apps, digital skills training courses, cyber security training, and if you go onto our website, there's also, there are many more things that this can be used for. So please go along and have a look because it's a really good grant. We also have 4 other additional grants. So we have our business startup grant. So this is for a business that's for 2 years or younger. It's £2,500 and that's match funded. We also have our High Street Premises Enhancement Fund. So that's £5,000 match funded. And that's if you've got a premises, you can use it to improve the front of the property. We have our Rural England Prosperity Fund, and we also have our Low Carbon Workplace Grant. On our website, we have a free to download startup guide. This guide basically has everything in there to sort of give you an idea of your day-to-day running of your business. So if you need any support in regards to that, that's free to download on our website. We also recently we've redeveloped our business directory. So this is resident facing, so residents will be able to see and find your business. It's also quite good if businesses want to collaborate with other businesses. So if you haven't registered on here, again, please, we would strongly advise you to do so because it is incredibly helpful and useful for our businesses. We're starting to accept nominations for our business awards for 2024. We have 12 categories and you can apply for multiple categories. It's not limited to just one. You can also nominate other businesses if you feel that they need that recognition. So again, please go onto our website and apply for that. And finally, we have our business e-newsletter. So this goes out fortnightly. It provides you with all the latest information we have in regards to our advice and support that's available. So again, if you haven't already subscribed to this, I would strongly advise you to do so because it does help to keep you up to date and you will find out all the latest information as we're promoting it. Okay then, so without any further delays, I'd like to hand the floor over to our guest speaker, James. So he can share his information. Thank you, James.
Thanks, Andy. First of all, thanks everyone for attending. Obviously, appreciate it's lunchtime and there are lots of other things you could be doing between 12 o'clock and 1 o'clock. Just in terms of sort of run time, I should be going for about 20-25 minutes, and then we'll have time for any questions at the end. If you do have any questions or anything sort of leaps into your mind, if you want to put it into the chat, and then we can run through that at the end, if that's okay with everyone. So if there's anything that I mention and it kind of, bring something to mind and you want to ask a question, then please do put that into the chat window, which is on the top of your display, or at least it is on mine on here anyway, and then we can sort of run through those at the end, and then obviously we can unmute everyone if you want to ask questions or we want any sort of general discussion. But as I say, got 20-25 minutes worth of content to run through with you, and then we'll take questions at the end. So today we're going to be looking at how to use video to get your business found on Google. Now, personally for me, video content as part of our SEO strategy has been really, really powerful. And again, I'm just going to share with you some of the things that have worked for us and also for our clients. So hopefully there'll be some value in here in terms of ideas to get you started with your video content. So we're going to be covering today very quickly how search engines work. Then we're going to look at video and other content ideas that can help boost your SEO or your search engine optimization. And again, it isn't just video, it's interrelated things like blogs and other content that you can put out onto the internet that will help bring traffic back to your site. So we're going to be looking at kind of the wider ecosystem, but video is part of that. Then we're going to look at how to boost your video views on YouTube, and I'll come to YouTube in a couple of slides time and we'll talk through that. And then we're going to close with looking at content for voice search, which obviously voice search is a huge growing area of search traffic, and sort of statistically we're going to be moving more and more towards voice-led searching as we go through. So just quickly a little bit about me and what I do. My name's James Garrett. I'm director of H&E Media. So we're a video production and video skills training company based in Takeley within Uttlesford district. And we obviously service the local area, but also wider beyond that. But we work with a lot of local businesses, organisations, local authorities at various levels, including with Uttlesford. So one of the things I'm going to be talking about today is kind of ideas that are gleaned from all of these different areas, all these different sectors that we work with that can help you to sort of grow your engagement with video. I've been doing training courses sort of like this, but also in-person practical skills training since 2013, and I've been in business since 2005, so it's sort of 18 plus years. And one of the big things that I believe in is the power of educational marketing and also content marketing. So educational marketing is very much things like this. It's giving value, helping people, sharing your knowledge with a view that in the future you can build up that know, like and trust, and then people will come back to you and your company when they need you. It might not be right now, but it could be in the future. And it's that kind of process that I think, I don't think, I know is really, really effective. So we'll be looking at that as well. Next slide, please. Just a flavour. Obviously, I'm not here to sell anything to anyone, but just to give you an idea of who we do work with. As I say, at a local level, we're working with Bishop Stortford Bid and Discover Stortford for anyone that's in the Bishop Stortford area. We work with Saffron Hall for anyone that's that end of the district, and sort of many other organisations. Particularly do a lot of work with schools. So if anyone's connected to a school in any way, we do lots of work with them, filming shows, creating promos, that kind of stuff. But this just gives you a flavour of the kind of breadth. It's kind of really well-known companies, big multinationals, big corporates, but then also people you've probably never heard of. But I always say to people, some of our clients are doing the biggest, most important work in the world, but you've never ever heard of them. And there's quite a few examples that are like that. Next slide, please, Andy. So jumping straight in, we're going to look at how search engines work. So search engines, like Google, obviously I've got a caveat early on, other search engines are available, and there are quite a number of search engines, and everything that I'm talking about will help you get found on any of those search engines. I've focused on Google because it's got the biggest market share, and Google also own YouTube, and YouTube is the world's second largest search engine. So that is why getting video content out there, particularly onto YouTube and embedded into your website, which is what I'm going to be talking about during this, is so important. Everyone fixates on social media, which is important, but as part of your marketing strategy, you need to be uploading content onto YouTube. And even if it's a reloading content that you've put on social media, think of YouTube as your shop window that people will stumble across when they're looking for the thing that you do. So the more you can utilize YouTube as the world's second biggest search engine, it's really, really going to help you. And we get a lot of business through my company through video. So I know it really is effective, and we've picked up lots of customers. So I'd certainly say if you haven't utilised YouTube and you've already got video content, definitely put it onto YouTube. It doesn't even matter if you do it in one big hit. The sooner you get it up there, the sooner it can start ranking, the sooner you can start getting traffic back to your website. And again, I'll cover more on search terms, keywords, linking back to websites later on in the seminar. So essentially, search engines have crawlers that collect information by trawling through your site. So if you've got a website, a really, really good thing that you want to have in there is the kind of index of the pages. And this is often seen at the bottom of the website, and it will be a kind of list of the key pages. Google crawlers use this to help navigate within your site. So if you've got this structure in existence on the website, that will help your website to rank. And as I touched on earlier, Google is big. Google's got a 75% net share of all search engine searches, so it's absolutely huge. And then when you partner that with YouTube, it's a very, very dominant player in the market. Obviously, it's worth touching on very quickly now that what I'm talking about is going to be organic traffic, i.e. you don't pay for it, but you can also do paid strategies to get reach as well. And there are lots of people that specialise in running those for you, but all of the stuff I'm going to talk about is how you can do it organically without necessarily needing to pay for ads or paid reach, just so that you know that's what we're going to be looking at. Next slide, please, Andy. And then top search engines, as I mentioned, there's quite a few search engines. Here's just a few of them, but you can see they have a very, very small market share or search traffic share compared to Google, which has sort of almost 94% share at the time of writing, and this is dated February 2023. So it's forever growing. So now we're going to jump into some content ideas to boost your SEO. The one thing that people say to me, and this is a near constant response when I say to them about video, is I know I should be doing video. I know it's really, really important. I don't know what to make my videos about. And that is literally the stumbling block for most businesses, most organizations of any size, not just smaller businesses, micro businesses, but huge multinationals as well. They really struggle with knowing what to talk about, what to create videos on. But I've got a couple of ideas that you've probably already got content for that you can then kind of leverage and use for your videos. So one thing you can do is embrace FAQs. So if anyone's got an FAQ page, so that's a frequently asked questions page on their website, that can be a really powerful way to create some video content. So you're not actually having to reinvent the wheel here. You can use maybe an existing FAQ page that you might have on your website. If you don't have one on your website, you might want to build one. IT companies in particular find this useful because it kind of gets rid of some of the mundane day-to-day inquiries that you might get through a help desk, for example, and gives people the information they need without them needing to bother your team. So if you, depending on your business sector, if you get lots of calls about very similar things, maybe consider making a video that kind of addresses those questions, something you could send out in an email as a link, pushing them back to the YouTube channel, whatever it might be, or a page on your website, just something that helps them solve that problem. And then the more helpful you can be, the more likely they are to come back to you when they need whatever your paid service or product is. So again, FAQs is a really good place to start. And for every FAQ question that you've got on your website, maybe consider making a video out of that, and you could even repurpose the copy, the text, to make that video. So you're not reinventing stuff. You're just sort of utilizing what you've already got. And again, the final bit on this slide is that a customer is more likely to contact you and to make a purchase if you're able to convince them that you know your stuff. So the more helpful and knowledgeable you can be through your videos, through your blogs, the better that will be for you, really. Another thing you can do, and we do an awful lot of work similar to this with our kind of client base, is testimonials. So get your top customers, clients, users of your product or service to talk about how great it is. You can go around telling everyone you're the best thing since sliced bread, but actually it's much more authentic if other people do that for you. This is the bit that's a bit counterintuitive. The more raw the video, i.e. if it's self-shot or it's not super polished, the more authentic it is. So with testimonials, it might be worth recording them potentially yourself on a phone or another device, because it just has that kind of feeling of being authentic. And particularly with testimonials, you know, if you want to showcase your product and it's high end or it's high value, obviously you want the video to look really, really slick, you know, stuff on your website, on socials, etc. But something like a testimonial is much more authentic if it's slightly kind of less polished, if you will. So, and tying into that is Google reviews. So again, if you can back up your video testimonials, your written testimonials with genuine Google reviews or Trustpilot or whatever platform you use or that's relevant to your sector, then that just helps to build that kind of trust equity. Andy's really good at this. Well done, Andy. This is excellent. It's waiting for the pauses. In the future, this will all be done by AI. I'll probably be AI. My colleague's just been showing me, actually, you can AI generate missing bits of photos now using Photoshop. So you had a picture that was square and you needed it to be landscape, and you just AI generated the missing ends. It was absolutely incredibly good. But until that comes along when we're completely replaced, I'll keep going with this. But one thing you can do is pull traffic back to your website. And again, video is really powerful. There's also social media, again, is a great way to drive traffic back to your website. If you've got a video that's sort of showing a new product, service, or something that you're particularly proud of, you can link them back to your website. And that's ultimately what you want to do, is to convert that interest at some point into a booking, a sale, a conversion, whatever that is and that looks like for your business. That is why we're doing the videos. That's why we're doing the website content, the blogs, etc. That is all of our end goal, is to get people back. So when you are creating your content, always have that in mind, that you want some kind of call to action at the end. You want to convert that interest into something. It might be a subscription on your YouTube channel. It might be they're signing up to some extra content. It might be that they take an interest in your mailing list, and then ultimately maybe they buy a product or a service, whatever it is that you're ultimately trying to encourage the viewer to do. So again, with things like blogs and articles, these all go hand in hand with video, and you can embed video into your website, into your blog. That gives you double love on Google, because Google loves videos, because Google owns YouTube. So if you type in certain key search terms into Google, you'll notice that underneath the search results, and sometimes above, depending on what it is you've typed in, you will get a series of video search results. And this is relatively new in the scheme of sort of internet search, i.e. like the last few years or so, but it's really, really powerful. So if you are creating video content, you've given it the right sort of name, the right keywords are in there, and it's actually relevant to what that person's looking for, Google will potentially serve that up to someone ahead of other search results. And being a video, people are quite likely to click on and have a watch of that. So if you're searching on a browser, on a device, on a laptop, a computer, a phone, whatever it might be, it will serve you up those video kind of suggestions in terms of what Google thinks is relevant to what you're looking for. So again, that's why, touching on what I said earlier, getting all your content onto YouTube as your kind of shop window is so powerful, because every time your relevant search term video is typed into Google, you've got a chance of it being served up in front of someone and then ultimately clicking on that. So again, linking all of these things back to your website is really key. I'll touch on this in a minute, how to put YouTube links and how to do the website links through YouTube and vice versa. But it is really, really important. And then again, if you are getting people back to your website, once you've got them there, you might want to then do something to convert them by signing up to a mailing list or whatever it might be. So again, it's just taking the potential customer who's interested on that journey to a point where they may ultimately buy from you. But as I say, that may not be here and now. That might be much further down the line, today, tomorrow, next week, next month, next year. And anecdotally, one of the things I find in my industry is that people who haven't heard on for 3 or 4 or 5 years come back to you out of the blue. They've seen your stuff on social, they can find you on Google, you exist still, and then they come back as a customer. We've had some really big, like really great jobs actually in the last month or so, just from that kind of constant, pushing out of content and reminding people that you're there essentially. And that's what I definitely recommend everyone to do. On this slide, again, this is one of those tricky ones. It's always good to keep an eye on what your competitors are doing. There's a lot to be said for doing your own thing and staying in your own lane and ignoring the noise around you. But every now and again, it is worth just seeing what your closest competitor is up to, particularly in the video arena, because there might be things that they're doing that you could kind of utilize or adapt, or even if you're that obvious, just out and out copy if you want to, because there is the old saying, if it isn't broken, don't fix it. And if someone's doing something that's really effective in another sector, or even within your own sector, or perhaps in your industry but in a different part of the country or the world, again, there's no harm in kind of jumping on that and trying to emulate what they do, obviously with your own spin on it. And try and keep an eye on what people are up to by following them on social media, maybe subscribing to their YouTube channel. So, boosting your views on YouTube. So this is going to be a couple of ideas on how you can get that traction on YouTube. So as I said, if you've already got video content, or even if you haven't, but you're in the process of making some, or you're thinking about making some, the top thing I can suggest you do after today, if you don't do anything else, if you forget every single thing that I've said and talked about today, is set up a YouTube channel. And if you've already got one, but you're not really making use of it, start uploading content on there. And if you follow what we're going to kind of run through now, then you should start to see some traction coming back to your YouTube channel, your YouTube page over time. Obviously, it may not be instant. Some things of YouTube blow up pretty much instantly. Others are a bit more of a slow burner. It just depends on a number of different things, really. But one thing you can do, and when you're creating your content, you really want to make sure you're thinking about your end user, your end viewer in mind, is rename your video with a specific target keyword. So one of mine might be video. Well, actually, a really good example is live streaming company near London. We've got videos and blogs and web pages out there that drive quite a lot of traffic back to our website because they've got that set of words in them. That's something I'm proactively targeting, and that gives us a lot of inbound organic inquiries, i.e. we've not paid for them through ads or anything like that. They just come in, people find that through Google search, and then they inquire through the website. So again, think about your different products or services that you want to promote, and what would people be typing into Google. And when you create your title, think about that. Maybe even look for some trends. What else are people doing on Google? What's working? What's not working for people with their videos and their website pages, and set your kind of search terms, your video titles, to kind of coincide with that. What you want to do though is insert your target keyword naturally into the video. There's something called keyword stuffing, which people do a lot on websites, which is they'll target a keyword, SEO, for example, or I don't know, toaster or something like that, and they'll just absolutely stuff that into the website. Now, Google used to let you get away with that. The algorithm is always changing, and they penalize you now for that. So it needs to flow naturally and not be overused, to make sure that you actually will get the traffic back through. Again, optimize your video description. YouTube loves you to talk about what the video is about. So if you think about the synopsis of a book on the back of a book, it's basically that. You need to write in a paragraph or a couple of sentences what the video is about, so that one, Google and YouTube knows and they can help rank it, but two, the viewer can say, oh yeah, I want to watch that video, or no, I don't want to watch that video. And then the other thing that goes hand in hand with that is thumbnails, but I'll get onto that shortly. Again, if there's popular keywords that relate to your topic, try and get those into there. And another thing you can do, if you've got a very established YouTube channel, or even if you haven't and it's in its infancy, is to categorize your videos. So you can do things called playlists on YouTube, and you can put them into specific categories that you decide on your channel, and that helps people to know where to navigate. So if you wanted to go to our YouTube channel, for example, the H&E Media one, there are various, I'm just putting it into the chat now, actually. There are various playlists within that, one of which is a video training tips one, which is where I upload all my video content, helping people with their video making. So again, if you have a look at that as a channel, you can see the kinds of things you might be able to do with your own YouTube channel. And again, for those who've already got one, it might just be a case of setting up those playlists. For those that need a YouTube channel, you just need to build the channel and then start putting the content on, and then you can start categorizing it. Another thing that YouTube loves and SEO likes, and obviously social media loves, is if you've got any kind of voiceover, narration, anyone speaking in the video, subtitles are really, really important, because so many people watch content with the sound off, especially on social media, but also on YouTube. That having subtitles burned in to it is really, really good, but you can also auto-generate those through YouTube as well. If anyone uses Premiere Pro to edit, you may already know, but there is an AI subtitle generator that's relatively new, as in the last sort of couple of years. That is an absolute game changer, because we used to literally sit and listen to what people were saying and then type it in and marry it up in real time with what they were saying, and it used to take hours and hours, and now it's literally done in 20-30 seconds, and your job as the human is just to fix the errors. And it's very, very accurate. So the errors are fairly minor. But again, subtitles really, really important in all of your content. And one thing you might want to think about is adding kind of end cards and end screens to your YouTube channel. Again, you can add those in either through the video, or you can add them in afterwards. And that might be something like a call to action to get them to subscribe, join the mailing list, visit your website, etc., just to get them to do that next step, whatever that next step is. And as I said earlier, creating a playlist about your topic more generally is a great way to kind of put similar videos together. Oh no, it's broken. Brilliant. So thumbnails, this is really, really important. This is the thing. This is the shop window of your video or videos. This is what's going to get someone to click on your video or just scroll past your video. So when you're doing these, you can create custom ones, i.e. you design your own thumbnail and you upload it when you upload the video, or you can go in afterwards and upload it. But you can also choose a frame from the video. So you'll upload your video onto YouTube. YouTube will provide you with what it thinks are 3 possible thumbnails that you might want to use. Sometimes they're horrendous, sometimes they're not bad. Generally it errs on the horrendous. You normally get someone doing this or something like that, in which case you can then upload your own custom one. And again, I'll quickly run through in a moment or two how you would do that. One thing to note, YouTube is still a little bit archaic. I think it's probably to do with server space, but it likes your thumbnails to be 1280 by 720 pixels, i.e. not 1920 by 1080 HD, but just slightly smaller. And again, I think that's just to do with loading time, and there needs to get the stripe around. It normally likes them to be JPEG, I think, rather than PNG, or possibly the other way around. I'd actually have to look at it to remember, but if you try and upload the wrong one and it's over 2 megabytes, it just says and then you get rejected. So that's something to note as well. And again, it likes different formats, but it's worth playing around with things. But you can use something like Canva or another platform to design these thumbnails and then upload them. So how do we create a custom thumbnail? So if you look where my giant arrow is down near the bottom there, when you're uploading onto YouTube, this is the window that you'll see. The top bit is the title. The middle bit, the slightly larger box, is the description. This is where you want to say what the video is about. And then this is where you'd put any links back to a website or any kind of call to action, because depending on the device people are on, they can then click on that link and find out more information. So it's just pushing them on to that next step, whatever that next step might be. And then where the arrow is, that's where you would click to upload your thumbnail. As I say, there is a file size limit, and it's picky about formats as well as the resolution. But if you do a custom one and it's quite vivid and it's quite eye-catching, that will definitely help you to get more views. And then there's finally on here the playlist, so you can choose a playlist to add it to or create one, and then you can put in some keywords at the bottom. So these are the search terms that will help people to find your video. So again, most important keywords need to be at the start of your title. Try and keep it succinct. Try and keep it human in the way that someone might speak. So in terms of search, voice search traffic, sorry, that's something to be thinking about. So if it was you're a florist, you might want to have a video which is called Florist Bishop Stortford, or the name of the town where you're based. Again, when people are looking online locationally for a product or service, having the location in can be really, really powerful, because it helps Google to know that it's relevant to me. People used to do naughty things like XYZ service near me, and that kind of is so generic that you could actually be in Edinburgh but get an inquiry from Southampton because of the way it's structured. So again, if you are a company or a business that serves quite a local catchment area, you might want to think about putting in a location or keyword into your search, your title, but also into your description as well. And things like Google My Business on Google Maps are really good for Google knowing where you're based, dropping your pin for your business, your shop, whatever you've got in, and then it ties all that information together. The more you can populate this stuff here in YouTube and on Google My Business, the more likely you are to get search traffic. And another little hack on that is if you are on Google Maps and Google My Business, it's really good to upload photos of places you go and leave reviews, because it all brings traffic back to your site. So every time I go and film a show in a theatre, surprise, surprise, I take a picture. Often there's a picture of us or the equipment or the show or whatever it is. We'll post that up. We'll do a nice review of the venue, saying how we love to film there and it's really great to work in, etc., because chances are someone in the future is going to come along. They're looking to book a venue to put their show on. They'll probably stumble across our review and our pictures and go, there's a video company. We need them. So it's just another way you can kind of put yourself out there alongside all the sort of video stuff and the website stuff. So when you're looking at this, obviously, as I touched on before, make your titles interesting and click-worthy and relevant, and also add that description, because that's really, really key. And if anyone wants more on that part of it, I can go into a bit more detail kind of offline to help you with that. So, ideas to get you started. As I talked about earlier, you've got the FAQs. That's a really good starting point. Perhaps you've got blogs. One of my top things I would suggest to do is utilize your blogs to create your first set of videos. If you've not made any videos, or you've come to a bit of a stumbling block where you've run out of videos or video ideas, utilizing your blogs that you might have already written is actually a really good way of just repurposing that content, turning it into a video and pushing that out on YouTube, putting it in your website, pushing that out on social media as well, and sort of gaining interest that way. As I said earlier on, you really want to embed your videos into your website. If you're stuck on that or you're not sure how, again, that's something I can help you with. Normally it's a URL or shortcode, and you just have a plugin depending on what platform you use, and then you can add that video in. The thing to note here is it won't be hosted on your website, it will be hosted on YouTube. The benefits to that are twofold, which are it will load quicker and it won't slow down your website because it's actually on YouTube servers, but also it will then bring traffic back to your website because there is a video sitting inside the website. So it's kind of double the value really. And then the final idea is to showcase maybe your best customer, your product or service, something you're proud of, something you want to attract more of in the future. That always generally helps you to get more of the same. So voice search, let's see what we've got on voice search. As I said earlier, and I feel like I've said that quite a bit, find and use conversational keywords. So when you're doing video titles, search terms, things like that, try and make it how you would say it, if that makes sense. So it's got a human factor to it, because when people are talking to voice search to their Alexa, their Google device, whatever it might be, they will probably say things in a more conversational way. So again, it's important to craft your content to fit that. FAQ videos, website content, again, this is all relevant stuff that will be found on voice search. And as I touched on earlier, do claim your Google My Business profile and set one up if you've not got one, because that really will help with localized search, because it will ascertain where you are in relation to the location of the person searching and then potentially rank you accordingly. So if we were looking for a local service here in Takeley, we would probably be served up Takeley, Bishop's Orford, Dunmow, etc. as our big local towns. So when you are creating content, do think about location and also people asking their device for suggestions of places to go for dinner, places to buy different things. That's really powerful. And again, when you're doing this stuff, make sure you're answering questions. Some of the most popular videos on YouTube are how-to videos, how to do this, how to do that. And again, even if you never get a customer from it, you might get to a point where your videos are so popular, you can monetize your channel, and then you get paid by Google and YouTube every time someone watches your video. So I know people that literally just earn their living by running YouTube channels. There's loads of people all over the world doing that. And again, you can think of that for your business as another income stream. If you get your channel to a point where it's generating you passive income, that's fantastic. That's either extra money or one less customer that you need to find every month, really. So again, there's two reasons to use YouTube, really. It's good to grow your business, but also it is in itself a revenue stream as well once you get it up and running. Again, roughly, oh sorry, and just like to jump back, sorry, I paused at the wrong moment. Roughly half of voice search users look for local businesses. So again, when you are thinking about content, videos, websites, etc., do think about voice search and keep that in mind. Obviously, relevant title content will massively help you to rank higher. Now we're ready, sorry. So how to optimize the voice search? As I said, use natural language, direct answers that answer specific questions. The more specific you can be, the better, really, in terms of that. Don't be afraid to make really short, specific videos that just cover one thing. That's not necessarily a bad thing. The more content you put out there, the better, really. And obviously, voice search is used to conduct local searches. It's important, as I said earlier, really just to keep that Google My Business listing either up to date, and that's things like opening times, days of operation, special offers, anything that's seasonal. Keep that information up to date and relevant, because that will help drive traffic to you. And again, make sure your content is optimized by eliminating duplicate pages, getting rid of things that are obsolete or out of date, and that includes Google My Business. Google will down rank you if you have inconsistent operating or opening hours across different platforms, directories, websites, etc. It will look at that and work that out, and you'll be ranked down because it's not clear to the user when you're open, when they can go there. So again, that's something to bear in mind. That brings us to the end. I actually thought there was one more slide, but there isn't. So that is us. Yeah, thank you for listening. Have we got any questions? I'm not sure if we will. Again, if it's thing to caveat here is there's no such thing as a stupid question. So please do ask. Obviously, this is a safe place. But if you don't want to ask here, you can reach out to me offline as well, and I can sort of put our website into the chat if you do want to get in touch. Andy, back to you.
Thanks, James.
Any questions?
Yeah, no, thank you. That was brilliant. I mean, what I'll be doing as well, I will send the your slides out to everybody, so everyone will have access to your slides, and obviously your contact details as well. So if anybody has any questions, either go directly through to James, or you can come through to us, and and we can put you into in touch with James. Okay, then. I mean, it doesn't look like there's any other questions.
Has
Yeah.
anyone got anything verbally that they want to ask?
No, I don't. I can't see anything in there. No, but like I said, if anybody does have anything, they have our information. So if anything pops
Yeah.
in your minds at a later date, you can let us know.
Oh, Emma's
Think
typing something.
I was just going to say, I think Emma's typing.
Emma's got a question. Can I jump in with a shameless plug, Andy, if that's all right?
That's perfectly fine. Yeah.
Obviously, it's digital. The Digital Boost grants came out this week. One of which is digital skills training, and that's something that I've been doing for 10 years. So I teach individuals, small teams, companies how to make video content so that they can get started either on social media, YouTube, doing their own kind of day-to-day stuff. So you don't necessarily need to hire a company like HD Media to do it for you. For all the day-to-day stuff, you can do that. So I cover filming, editing. That's either on a phone or a DSLR camera, whatever your kind of preferences. I can kind of teach you the rules of video making and then how to edit the footage so that you can have that skill set in-house. And then every now and again, you might want to have a fancy pants video for your website, and then you might hire someone like us. But as I say, if anyone's looking to apply for the grants and they're interested in digital skills, I can teach the video side of that. So if anyone wants a quote or they need anything for the application process, then do reach out to us on that. That's my shameless plug over. Thank you, Andy.
No, that's fine. I was just wondering because I think Jay's asked. Oh, there you go. Great. My question is, should I make long form or short form videos?
Oh, that's a really good question, Jay. You should do both. YouTube particularly loves long form content. So I don't know if everyone else that's on the seminar is the same, but I use YouTube at home almost as a form of TV, and I subscribe to different channels that I find interesting. Some of the videos are 5 minutes, some of them are 10 minutes, some of them are whole feature length programs that people are putting up there. So I'd say for social media, people have the attention span of a gnat. So the shorter you can make it, the better. Otherwise, they'll scroll on. You've lost them. They're dead to you by that point. So I'd say a mixture of short form and long form, depending on the platform. So Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, other social media platforms, shorter is better. LinkedIn tolerates slightly longer videos because of its kind of demographic. But for long form stuff, pop that onto YouTube. But I'd say it's unhelpful, but I would do a mix of both long and short. So 15 seconds up to an hour. It just depends who you want and what your audience is as well. Some people want to watch longer videos if they're really interested in a subject. Other people just need a really quick, how do I do this thing kind of thing. So yeah. What else have we got in the chat?
Do we get a copy of recordings at all? I missed yesterday's call. Yeah, we will be uploading them. So yeah, something once they're done, then yeah, I can. It'll be on our website. So we do that. I can send you the slides for yesterday's if you'd like. That's not a problem at all, Emma.
Yeah. There we go.
Oh, lovely.
Any more? Emma's typing something. That's
yeah.
And then I guess we'll wrap up, will we, Andy? I think that's.
Yeah, no, brilliant. No, thank you, Emma. Thank you. Okay, then. So thank you, James. That's been brilliant. Thank you for coming along today, and again, thank you for all our participants for sparing your time and coming along to the webinar. Brilliant. Okay, thanks everybody.
Thank you very much. Cheers.